Hello, everyone. Eric here with Fast Slow Motion, joined today by Nolan Verner, one of our project leaders, and one of our longest tenured clients, Doug Smith with EverRest Group. Doug, tell us about yourself and EverRest. What do you guys do?
Well, the EverRest Group is actually, we call it a contractor success group for heating and air contractors across the nation. So we work with heating and air contractors to help them better develop a plan, a system to put into place to be a stronger company, more profitable. And we've been in business, we started up in 2002. So we've been around for a while, and we work with about 19 different distributors across the nation. Our total member base, we've got about 2,500 members right now.
A lot of impact you're able to deliver to that industry. You started working with us in 2016. What was going on at EverRest at that time?
Actually, I had only come on board about 6 months when I started working with FSM. We had Salesforce, but we just didn't utilize it as a company. So when I got here, I pulled it off the shelf, and I kind of realized pretty quickly that with our niche industry that we're in, I needed some help customizing Salesforce to fit what we needed. So I did a lot of research, and Fast Slow Motion just kept continually coming up. So met the team there, hit it off great. They understood what we were looking for, and it wasn't just here's a box solution. They knew we needed specific stuff, and it really helped us a lot to develop what the platform we needed. And so we started working with FSM. It's just been a great experience ever since.
And Nolan, you've been involved with Doug and EverRest for some time now. Tell us about our project approach and kind of what we've helped Doug accomplish.
Yeah. So with EverRest being such a long-standing client with us, when I started at FSM, had come in where there's already an established relationship. There's already a lot of familiarity, trust. So that was nice to walk into. And thankfully, the team ahead of me had kind of planted all of that with Doug and team. The one thing I'd say that is really exciting every time that we get to work with Doug and have over the years is that I call it blue sky dreaming. It's Doug coming to us usually with an idea, a project, a way that he can see business being pushed to a better spot, to a further spot, getting a lot of return on some of the initiatives or the things that they're doing by having this idea and this thought. And we get to really work with him to sit down and say, okay, cool. We get this really great idea, all these thoughts where he's not restrained to a platform. He's just taken, I had this idea, I had this thought. And then we get to work with him to say, all right, cool. Well, what can we do? How can we manipulate the system? What can we do within Salesforce? How can we build that? How many different versions might we have to go through to get there? And so there's so much back and forth. And I think for us, with each project, with each interaction that we've gotten to have with Doug and the team, it always starts in such a creative environment. And then from there, we can kind of put actual traction down and put it in front of him and make sure it's heading in a direction that he wants to go. But the collaboration, the back and forth, the iterative nature of how we work with EverRest and how we have over time is just right down the pipe to me. I think of a lot of the value that we do provide as a company, where we can utilize our day-to-day resource, grab other people that have specific technical aspects of capabilities that they could bring in. And so it's just been really, in all the different touch points, all the projects, whether it's a marketing project, a community site project, or just enhancement in their Salesforce org, it's been a lot of fun working with that.
Doug, anything to add there?
Well, Nolan kept mentioning team, and that is one of the main things it's been beneficial for us, because it's not one person. We work with a lot of other groups, and in some cases we have one point of contact. We have one person. There's an entire team at Fast Slow Motion that if we need something, they're there for us. And that is a godsend, because it may be Thursday at 4:00 in the afternoon, and we reach out, somebody's going to be there. It might not get completed that day, but there's that support behind the scenes that, hey, here, let's take a look at it. We'll get working on it now. And that's a big deal. I think the team aspect has been great. And And I have to say, in some areas where we brought these dreams, it's been nice to also have somebody that says, hey, it's not really feasible to do that. Yeah, Salesforce is a great product. You can do all these things, but there are still limitations. And it's been really nice to have somebody say, I think you might be going down the wrong road here, because we don't know that side of it. So it's really nice to have somebody that's honest with us up front and says, it's not going to work like you think. Let us show you an alternative. And in most cases, those alternatives have been better than what we were thinking.
So it sounds like we got you set up on Salesforce back in 2016. Since then, we've had some great ideas that we've executed, some crazy ideas that maybe we shelved or decided that weren't worth pursuing. What I know we're still engaged. We still have an active project with you. What's next for EverRest and Salesforce?
It's our dreaming time right now. So we're going back and forth with Nolan and the team to kind of talk about some things. We are actually in the process of tying our website more into Salesforce. So we have a website company that's working with us, and they work in hand with Fast Slow Motion to help tie all of our products together, where we can have a better insight on usage, sign-on times, that kind of stuff. And it's really important right now that we are able to prove what members are doing. So if they're coming into our website, what's now going to start feeding through to Salesforce, so I can actually tell that Joe Smith logged in, here's what he did. So that way we can better target and support the people on what they're coming in. And we also use Pardot, which is part of Salesforce. So all that stuff that ties together, and that's where we're leaning on Fast Slow Motion to say, okay, how do we better integrate this to where we have a better picture of engagement across all of our platforms?
Doug hit the nail on the head. It's a good dreaming phase. There's a lot of the foundational pieces that over the years have gotten set and are just great cornerstones into their org and their system that they have now. The website is beautiful. EverRest branding is unbelievable. The marketing material is great. It's beautiful. And so really it's kind of taking all those things that get to go out into the world and folks get to interact with, and then try to figure out for Doug and his team, how do we get that customer centric data surfaced where it's valuable for him and his team to look at. So it's always just kind of making sure that we foundationally have what the team needs, and there's been so many years to get that in place. But then now we get to spend a lot of time doing a lot of really fun things on trying new stuff. I think one of our architects, Zach Terry here, he's gotten to do a lot of fun things, new things, stuff he's never tried, never thought he could do, in getting to be presented with an idea that the team has, the EverRest team has, and then say, all right, well, let's see what we can do here. So yeah, I think just trying to make sure that we're always aligning with Doug and his team's vision, and then figuring out with the systems that we have in place, what can we do? How can we kind of progress that customer-centric view that he's looking at and needing to make decisions on? How do we get that to him?
Doug, thanks again for your time today. How can people learn more about EverRest?
You can actually go to the EverRest website. It's EverRestGroup.com, EverRest, and take a look. You'll see some of the stuff that Fast Slow Motion's helped us develop, because it's all tied in there. So you won't even notice it, but it's there.